go. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Power Hour. Unless you look at Turtle or C-Red's feeds, you won't see this on Facebook by my hand tonight because Powell got me busted and I'm once again in Facebook jail. Wow. Right next door to Ivan Manson. But that's another story. We're going to start this episode a little different in light of what happened yesterday. So we'll let C-Red take it away. Well, when C-Red's done.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure most of the wrestling community heard the passing of Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, whichever name you want to call him. He did have others, but the world mostly knew him as Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. And just to be honest, my feelings, it was shitty. You know, man went in for a broken hip and this happened, you know. And it just goes to show that life is precious, you know. So love your loved ones. Love the people around you. Life is short. You never know when it's your time. So to all the gentlemen that are on here tonight, I hope each and every one of you know that I do love you. I do respect you. And I thank you, whether big or small, for being part of my life. So thank you.
Well, it was certainly a large kick in the testicles to lose someone that has obviously meant a great deal to everybody. And I'm just going to have you go around and we're going to share, why this was impactful. We'll start with Pauly Thomaselli, who probably has had fisticuffs with this man. So Pauly, give me your Scott Hall memories as they are.
I was introduced to Scott Hall. I saw him as a diamond stud, in WCW. And I remember when he came to WWE and being like, wow, wait, he's Razor Ramon now, and love the character, always loved the character. I thought he was awesome. Definitely influential in a lot of things that I do in the ring today. I mean, hell, I was using the Razor's Edge for a while there for a finisher, the walk through the curtain, it's always imitating Scott Hall because of the interactions that I've had with him and the opportunities that I've had to be able to be around him through JCW with the Insane Clown Posse and stuff. Dude was always super cool, man. Whether he was annihilated drunk, which is sad, but he was still super cool and super nice and was there to always talk to us and it sucks, man. It really sucks. It really, really hurt that hearing that, because like I said, it's not that we had a personal relationship. We weren't boys, I couldn't call him on the phone, but the interactions I had with him were always super cool. And like getting out of a speeding ticket one time and things like that. Wrestling him, there's just this. I have different stories with the guy that was just really cool, man. It's really, really cool.
It's tough. We're all fans. I mean, obviously Pauly has been all over the place doing this. Same with C-Red, even to a certain extent, you as well. But we all are fans first and foremost. And when one of, the people that made you want to do this shuffles off this mortal coil, it's impactful. Celebrities, professional wrestlers, athletes, they become kind of family-esque in the way we regard them sometimes. especially when they pass. I was amazed at all the outpouring. Everybody seemed to have a Scott Hall story. And I thought that is a beautiful thing because that means he left behind legacy. And, if you're a man judged by your legacy and you have a good one, it means you did good work out the earth. Obviously the man had some. That's not my dog, is it?
No.
And Turtle's on.
His name's Nubby. It's not Turtle.
It's Air Nubby.
Yeah, it's Nubby.
I think he's jumping on Hades right there. Oh, and he's back. There he is.
That was my dog.
Up.
There's no shutting that guy up.
I'll never forget the first time really meeting him. Well, me, Vito, and Sal were actually wrestling him in a 6-man tag with Violent J, this dude Nosawa, and Scott Hall. And so as we started to put the match together, Scott kind of took the reins and everything. Like, this is what we're gonna do. Like, here's the structure, right? We're like, okay, cool. And I remember he's talking to Sal because he's looking at the three of us. He's like, all right, I want the smallest one of you guys to be with me, because that way I'm gonna look even bigger than what I already do against the three of you. Like, okay, And then as he's working, he goes to Sal and he goes, all right, you'll get on me. Give me like 1, 2, 3, I don't know, like 5 shots. Probably only one because come on, dude, I'm Scott Hall. And we all lost it. Like, just, shit, yes, yes, you're Scott Hall.
I mean, that's fact. And he had a sense of humor about it, which
man,
that's the
he was
fun
freaking
part.
Hilarious. Or like I said, he got me out of that speeding ticket one time. We were at the gathering, and these 2 guys that were kind of his handlers for the weekend, like driving him to and from the hotel and stuff, they had enough of him. Like, I gotta go. Like, I'm done. Right. So the hotel is about an hour and a half away from the gathering like grounds, the camping grounds. So like Corp comes up to me. He's like, hey man, we need someone to pick up Scott. I'm like, this guy. I want to do that because I'm gonna have roughly 2 hours or so in a car with a legend, right? So pick him up, everything like that, and we're driving on the road, and about 3 minutes down the road, he's like, this is awkward. I'm like, yeah, a little bit. And he goes, you got any questions or anything? I'm like, yeah, let's start from the beginning, man. How'd you get in the business? So I literally had like this whole time to interview or talk with this dude that I idolized for the longest time. And then we look at the clock. I'm like, shoot, like we're going to be late. We better pick up the pace. So I step on the gas a little bit more, and I'm going. And all of a sudden, shit. So pull over, and the first thing he says to me is like, hey man, have you done any drugs today? No, Scott, I don't do drugs. He's like, are you sure? I'm like,
solid question though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know that I don't do drugs. And he's like, are you drunk? Nope, I'm good. I'm like, that's why I'm the one picking you up. He's like, all right, I got this. And I was like, okay, great. Now, mind you, I'm 7 hours away from my house in Southern Illinois going, I'm going to get a ticket. I'm going to come back down here for court. Like, how am I going to do this? I'm freaking out. Police officer comes up to the windshield or the window, license and registration. And before I can even like say, hey man, it's in my wallet, let me grab it, blah, blah. This big old bear claw comes across my chest and he goes, officer, hey, yo. I'm like, no, we're going to get arrested now. Like, what? So no. The police officer looks in the window. He goes, oh my God, it's Scott Hall. He's like, yeah, hey, this is a good dude right here. My guys left me and he picked me up. Like, please don't give him a ticket. And he's like, all right, hang on. All right. Let me see. I have to check if you have any outstanding warrants because you guys are. We had to explain that we were working for the Clowns and go to the gathering. So you could tell the cop was a little like, yeah, I guess I got to check this guy out, right? Came back. I had no priors or anything like that. He's like, hey man, have a great day. He's like, Scott, love you, bud. He's like, you too, brother. Thanks, man. And that was it. On our merry way back to the gathering. So it was awesome.
When you can get out of a speeding ticket with 2 words,
right?
Does that mean that you're the most over person in history? I mean, I guess the only thing that would have been rivaling that is if you were driving Hogan around. He said, "Let me tell you something, officer." That would be the only thing that would work the same. Hey, yo,
right? What you doing, brother?
Right, exactly. For me, Scott Hall, when I first started watching wrestling, I watched the Saturday Night's Main Event, stuff in that era, Rockin' Wrestling on MTV. And then I stopped watching for a little while. And I came back because a friend of mine said, you need to see this match. And it was the ladder match between Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. Never seen a ladder match before. And I kept thinking to myself throughout the whole match, as great as it was, how does that not hurt? Wrestling is supposed to be, there's a sense of theatrics to it. How do they take these shots without it hurting? And the answer is you take the shots and you move on. It hurts. I mean, that was a big ladder, and they were doing things with that ladder that I'd never seen before. So that changed.
To this day, guys are still ripping off in their matches.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Like Michael's riding the ladder off the turnbuckle, or you ride it down like a Tina Taught land and roll. Yeah.
If there's ever been a match with better storytelling, there aren't many, because I can watch that match today. I've seen it 1,000 times, and I'll still watch it beginning to end, and I'll still be riveted to it. It was a game changer. So that's one of the reasons why you get out of a ticket with 2 words, because everybody that has ever loved wrestling saw that damn match. Also, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. To me, is the single most impactful promo in professional wrestling history, because it changed everything. We thought the WWE was taking, and we thought it was real. He was just on, there were no dirt sheets. There was no Meltzer. There was no primetime pimp on the talk lines. You thought that oh my God, Vince McMahon has lost his mind. They're taking it over, and he sent his big guys. So that was, I fell harder for the Monday Night Wars than anything else at any other time in wrestling.
Think about that time though for a minute too. Like it's just really think about that. Like, again, you didn't know about the curtain call yet. Things like some people did, but not everyone knew about the curtain call yet at that point. So that was like, okay, like whatever, and all of a sudden Razor Ramon's on goddamn WCW Nitro. Like, yeah, it's funny. Like people go, who Mean Mike Enos is? No. He was the guy in the leather pants when Scott. Oh yeah. During that match, it got thrown out when Scott Hall came to the ring. Yeah, it's amazing, man. That was amazing. And then when he's like, next week I'm bringing the big man.
I got a big surprise. I got a big surprise. And he goes up and he's throwing Bischoff. I mean, they couldn't have scripted or staged that to be any more impactful. Sometimes sometimes you just want to see it. You Google
it. Was a hardcore impact for sure.
You just watch it. It's amazing. I did not get out of tickets with Scott Hall. I did not wrestle Scott Hall. I met Scott Hall one time for 38 seconds. And it was back at WrestleFest 6 for Pro Wrestling Blitz in Romeoville. And they had Bischoff and Nash and Hall. And
who did I wrestle on that show?
I was doing commentary off to the side for our school, Illinois Media School. I wasn't on the ramp with Billy Wack and CM Venom. I was what Scarpone had us 90 nautical miles away. Yeah. I saw the ants working in the ring, but I think all of you here know that my voice tends to carry when I get a little bit amped. So I'm doing the match. I'm calling my match, and people keep turning around going, shut the fuck up. We're trying to watch this. I get right. That. But anyway, as it was over and, we're walking and we're cleaning up, and they were leaving. And I don't know if he was intoxicated or not. It was during that period though. And he's like, are you the man that was in the back screaming? And I'm like, yeah, maybe. And he's like, you're so loud. And I'm like, yes. He's like, that's a good thing. And that was my, they were gone as quickly as they, no hi, I'm a big fan. It was just, were you that guy? You're very loud, and that's good. So that was my experience. He didn't have to say anything to me.
That was by far the biggest show I've ever been a part of, man. By far the biggest show ever.
That was a lot of people in that building.
Yeah, Kurt Angle was there. Scott Steiner was there.
The Dudleys were there.
Wait, that was the Dudleys?
That was the Dudleys.
Oh, I'm thinking of the year prior to that.
The year before, 5 was a little bigger. I think they were a little disappointed with 6.
Okay, no, the Dudleys were at 5 because that's when Craig and I wrestled the Dudleys. 6.
That's right. You did wrestle the Dudleys.
Yeah. That was the one where Bischoff? No, the next year was when Bischoff and Hall and Nash were there. They came out with Ego and did a whole thing with Ego.
So that's the one I was at. I think Chavo Guerrero was there. I think Carlito was there as well.
Could have been.
There
was
a bunch of people.
Those two kind of blend together as far as everything that went down there. Yeah. So yeah, no, it was.
But those are
crazy,
my memories from Scott Hall, and I they're all very much a part of the reason I do things and how I do them. What about you, PTP?
Oh, well,
nerd.
Yep. My memory.
Get dressed for the occasion. Are you gonna go?
Of course, I did.
Tee up afterwards. I mean, he's rocking the wife beater. Nice.
I was really hoping you were gonna wear the PTP tank top tonight.
I want the DX with the tape on it.
I gotta dig that out. It's buried. like my wrestling career, just buried.
Come on, you're up and coming. You're the most over referee on the planet. That pop you got Saturday night, people were like, he's just a ref. They're cheering.
Oh, I thought he actually went and got a pop from like the concession stand.
That's what I'm saying. You would think it would just be a pop from the concession stand, but not really. Go ahead, Turtle. Nubby. Whatever you are.
At this point, I'm asshole. I don't know.
Well, my agreement.
My memories basically, growing up watching them. My favorite match was probably at a live event. One of my favorite matches anyway. It was Razor Ramon against Shawn Michaels in the main event. They did all kind of back and forth shit, and that was actually prior to the ladder match at WrestleMania 10, which was the greatest ladder match of all time. Fuck anything else. Fuck every other match in the world. Greatest match in the world. Greatest ladder match in the world. Fuck the rest of you. And then basically he's number 3 on my top 5. Later met him at PCW, Dream Night in Midlothian. Cool guy. He was hilarious the whole time. Didn't really get to talk to him as much, Nobody talks to me anyway.
I'll follow that up because I already know where this is going. So
we got photos.
Yeah. So the reason why he was not able to go back and forth with him is because they were waiting for Tessmacher and Rikishi. And at the time there was your boy Trauma C-Red as well as Max Holiday. They were set up to be security for when he comes into the door. So they were just hanging around with him just in case he needed to go anywhere. You had these guys walking around. So we saw him, but we didn't see him. He came to the back to, say hi to everybody. And we were all kind of scattered.
You still trying to figure your phone out?
No, and I died out. Hold on a sec. So I remember that you were in the front with me for a little bit doing ring crew. We were, because there's a bunch of us just kind of just wrapping stuff up. So they told myself, Joe Heisman and Flanagan or Chris Ward at the time. I was like, go to the back so we get this thing out of the way from the main event. So we're all
getting ready. The phone's gonna die again.
Got it. And Rikishi ends up going in the back. Scott Hall just happens to be crossing. It's like, oh, what's up, brother? How you doing? And they just going back and forth. It was like, you want to take a picture? Like, yeah, I'll take a picture. He's like, you guys want to take a picture too? And we were just like, okay, that's fine. So then they was like, well, how many of you guys are there? And he's like, well, everyone's doing ring crew. He's like, well, get everybody in there to take this photo. So they just started grabbing people from the side. I'm not even sure you can actually see this or not. Let's see.
I saw that one posted online. You know why they did that, right?
Huh?
You know why they did that, right?
Oh man, we never got a chance. Because we had different angles on the other side.
Right. You know why they pulled all you into one photo, right?
No,
So that way you'd have to take 65 individual photos with all you assholes.
I mean it makes sense. I mean, people all trying to get out of the way.
Safe
Like,
time.
oh shit, this is PCW. Like, hey, everyone, get your
Man,
ass in
Hey,
here.
it was so
Hey,
weird.
here's
When they came back, there was something like he didn't get a chance to. It was like, dude, it just happened. It literally
Yeah.
just happened. He chatted with us for about 10 minutes, but he was really nice. Actually, all of them were really nice. But once they got done talking and came down to business, they were in it. They had to get it done. But yeah, I just remember that because I was with him. And they just so happened to call me back to the back so we could start doing the main event stuff. So we had to go back and set up for the lights. So like I remember talking to him, he was like, "What just?" I was like, "Dude, they just took a photo. They just took it." Like we didn't even see him after that. We never saw him again after that until the end. Until the end.
Nubby got worked again.
He got worked again.
Yep. As always, story of my life.
This is my favorite part of the shows that we do is everybody, recollecting and telling the stories of the times that have gone by. And when you lose someone as impactful as Scott, it's great because we all have it. We all come at it from a different angle. He'll be missed. Obviously, he's a great part of our childhood and our past. As we've grown up, he's always been there. We always enjoyed when they would do the reunions, except that whole Sting gimmick where the NWO that was not great. But the point is, it's good to see different. I mean, obviously, Pauly probably knew him the best. Then you had the PCW thing, and obviously, C. Red will have a story, but it's the common denominator that we all perform in this business in some form or fashion. But when you break through all that crap, we're still all fans. And, when your heroes die and they go away, it hurts. It's a kick in the dick. So
It really is.
rest in peace, Scott Hall. This is the Power Hour, and we are back. Overwhelming is the word I'm going to use here. Overwhelming the response to Pauly Thomaselli V1. A lot of people reached out and said how much they enjoyed that episode. And then something happened that I never thought would happen. Pauly actually messaged me and said, "Hey, I loved it. When can I do it again?" Well, fuck, let's bounce about 6 guests and let's do it now.
Once again, I feel like you think that I don't like you. And this whole time, like, I'm like, man, we always got along great at Global. Like every time I see him, it's like a handshake and a hug. Like, how you doing, man? Like, and I generally like want to know how you're doing. It's not just oh, hey guy, what's up? And let me keep walking. And so when I hear that, when you say this like that, I'm like, man, like, what does he really think about me?
No, I love you, but Turtle and I went through this very strange period toward the end of 2019 where we were not sleeping well, we were hemorrhaging money, and we were dealing with a vessel that had been critically wounded and was titanicking down into the water. And, we didn't feel like we were liked by very many people at that point because we were trying to put duct tape and baling wire on the boat to keep it
with
floating
gum
to the end of the commitment.
Yeah.
We did. We made it. We got through November and then it went away and it's still gone to this day. But we learned a lot. And but we also thought that we were hated by many people. I go up to a lot of people the same way I go up to you, a little guarded because I'm just not sure. And then they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, Steve? You were great." So I appreciate it.
Right.
It's the insecurity of the 400-pound man that comes back and gets you. You got to work harder. And anyway, insecure or not, we're glad to have you back for part 2. And let's get right into POW Entertainment. A match. Pauly Thomaselli, Joey CC. They were in the back getting ready to go. It looked great. The fans were ravenous. And then they got to that ring and they brought the thunder. They brought the lightning for 7 minutes. Pauly, tell me about those first 7 minutes. I want to hear how that came to be because those fans loved those 7 minutes. They didn't want, it's like they wanted 2 or 3 more minutes of what you were doing. And I'll be damned if I saw any more than a whisker of contact in 8 minutes. I'm like, I've never seen, we're back there on the monitor watching it. I'm like, I can't believe it. They haven't touched each other. And it was great. The fans were like, the man in the banana was basically ripping his skin apart. All the special ed kids that are at the POW crowds. I mean, there was a lot of chaos going on there. Many a short bus picked up many a fan at the end of the night.
For those of you wondering what
All
Steve's
in.
talking about right now, you can go to POW's Facebook page, POW Entertainment, and they just posted the video today of the match.
And you watched the timestamp.
I did.
7+ minutes.
I did. I'm like, I didn't realize it was 7 minutes, right? And then you're like, in the build-up for today's show, you're like, we're gonna talk about the first 7 minutes of the match. I'm like, no shit, he was right. It's exactly 7 minutes.
I was looking at my watch going, there is no way. I was like, it was like that, you're like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the fans want a little peek behind the curtain of what really went down, earlier in that week, Chi-Chi had gotten into a bit of a car accident. Nothing major, but enough to where he, in my opinion, looking out for a really good friend of mine, I didn't want him in the ring just because you're banged up. We don't need to go out there and play fight in our underwear, man. Like, let's just, we can do this some other time.
I know.
So,
I'm watching it right now. I just want to make sure that you know I'm watching it right now.
So
please continue, but I'm just
Don't mind the crowd noise. I know you're used to it.
Right. So that being said, I was like, man, like, I don't want to go out there and kill each other because, again, like, you're pretty banged up. Everything else, like, how about we just go completely different than what we did last month? Now, last month we went out there and we knocked the slop out of each other, chops, forearms, punches, kicks, boom. I mean, like, literally, it was my hand literally hurt the next day. Like, wow, I haven't done that in a long time. Like, I feel like my hand's bruised from chops. Right? Nubby knows how that feels for getting from me. So I'm like, well, let's not do that because, again, you're banged up. I don't want to do this, right? He's like, all right, cool. What do you got? I'm like, let's have a thumb war. And he's like, what? Yeah, just hear me out, man. Hear me out. So he's like, all right. I'm like, well, we'll build off that, okay? Because we knew we had to build to a double DQ. So, all right. We'll do a thumb war. I go, we got to throw paper, rock, scissors there somewhere.
And the ref is officiating the thumb war.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's policing the situation.
He was like the ref and over the top where he's making sure the hands are even. And yeah. Old Jerry. So I said, yeah, we'll do that. I go, we got to throw a test of strength in there. It'll be like Hogan Warrior, WrestleMania 6, where one goes down, the next guy goes down. Yay. That whole thing. And then we can kind of throw a couple little jabs at one another and we'll go from there. I go, the biggest thing we have to do is really get this crowd in. I go, because this is the dumbest match I've ever done in my entire life.
And the crowd ate that shit with ladle. I mean, they wanted more.
Yeah, which I gotta be honest, man. Like, I'm super proud of that match in the sense of it's the first time I felt like I actually went out there and worked, because that's the least physical match I've ever had in my almost 19 years of doing this. So,
I'm in the locker room with Marche Rocket a good many times, and I listen to him talking to the young guys all the time, just because I'm always looking to see what he's going to say to these kids. And he always says, work smarter, not harder.
Right.
You don't have to kill yourself to get over. More. So this has been beaten into my skull for the last 8 years. And I have never seen a finer representation. I feel like I could have a match with you right now.
We totally could
do that, because
we totally could. We'll do the same thing. Let's go somewhere else and do it. Brilliant stuff. I really appreciate that. But continue. I didn't mean to interrupt you. So yeah, no, absolutely, man. So like then I'm like, oh, we should probably talk to Jimmy and see what Jimmy wants. Like, we're just literally coming here. We know we're doing a WQ. Like, we know he wants that, but like, what does he want? So I go to him like, hey man, like, this is our idea for the match. He's like,
I'm gonna pause this real quick.
He goes, I don't think you guys should do that. And I went, I know, but like, she's banged up.
I'm calling timeout.
Oh God, what's
Straight
up? What's up?
Timeout. I'm straight up. Okay, this is for everyone. If you get a chance, if you have not looked this up, and this is for anyone that watches this at this point in time, do yourself a favor. Go back and watch this match while listening to him talk about said match, and damn near beat for beat, you will see where things play. This is amazing.
It's like a live commentary only for
Yes,
you right now.
yes, you have no idea.
It's like Mystery
I just
Science
thought-
Theater.
yes, I just paused. I was like, everything that he has explained is just
It's right there. And we're only at
It
334.
is amazing.
You're not even halfway through the non-take.
I am at the paper rock scissors spot. That's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
They are,
That's-
they are shamboing the shit out of Twin Lakes.
okay.
So-
I just put
So
that out.
Jim tells us we shouldn't do that. I'm like, all right, well, this is what we're gonna do because again, Cheech is banged up. If it sucks, dude, I apologize. You can pay me less money tonight or something. I don't know. Like he's like, no, man, I wouldn't do that. I'm like, I know, man, but look, let's just trust me in this. He's like, Pauly, I always do. I'm like, all right, thanks, man. So we go out there, like I said, we did the thumb war, and then the one guy's yelling for us to do a dance off, so you kind of see a little like I throw my Tracy Smothers dance in there, like wiggle, wiggle, jiggle, jiggle, because I don't dance. I don't dance unless I have a gallon of Jack Daniels.
That's the dance right there. This is happening in real time.
Yeah. So then, as that's happening, someone yells, "Trouble, shuffle!" Now we're going into the test string, and they yell, "Trouble, shuffle!" And I legit it looks like I'm having fun out there, oh, I'm just laughing. When I fall over, laughing, I legit lost my shit laughing so hard. I could not, trouble, do it. And at that point, I realized I had Cheech's shirt right behind me in the turnbuckle. So as I fall over, I look like, oh, well, I'm not doing the trouble shuffle. I'm too insecure. Cheech can do it. So I throw her shirt. I'm like, you're the trouble shuffle asshole.
It was so good. It was so good. And the fans, I mean, if there was any doubt that if you play to the fans, you can get over, this is a love letter to them because that's all it was.
They're
5 minutes in, right?
My biggest accomplishment I feel in that match was getting the crowd to go, paper, rock, scissors. Paper, rock, scissors.
And I'll give you credit. That crowd was absolutely amped the entire night.
Yeah.
That entire
they're a good crowd,
show,
man.
Start to finish, they were loud and they were into it, and it was very well done. So kudos to Pow Entertainment and Jimmy Blaze for, as much as I'm supposed to be at war, you got to give them up for the entertainment. Although sitting with, there it is. There's the shirt. And look, there's a banana in the front row.
Is that
That's a banana.
I'm sorry. I'm just I'm amazed at how long this went on.
Me
The only
too,
thing-
actually.
I want
There it is.
There
He
he-
just passed out.
and down goes Pauly.
Down
Down he
Pauly.
goes.
Okay, timeout. Wait, I don't have the
Wait,
face.
give me Ryan. You got a timeout on the field.
Timeout. The Goonies for me is one of the all-time best movies ever.
Yeah.
If I'm in a shitty mood, if I'm in a good mood, if my dog just died, that's the movie I'm gonna go watch, just to take my mind off shit for a while, right? So in that opening scene, when Chunk's up and he's doing the trouble shuffle, if you notice it, he's come on, do it. He's like, come on, do it. He's like, ah. Well, as he's up there, he's like, he makes these it's just the most ridiculous noise. I can't imitate it, but oh my god,
That happened on this show. We had that
tears,
sound
man.
forever.
I can't stop crying from laughing every time I see the trouble shuffle. So now here I am in a match, trying to be tough guy, haha, I'm gonna get you, right? Let's do the test of strength. I'm picturing Hogan Warrior in my mind. I hear trouble shuffle, and I just think of Chunk.
Yeah.
Done. Here we go. So yeah, no, it's like I said, it's not my greatest match out there. It's not the most physical match out there. It was definitely one of my most funnest matches.
Yeah.
See, I think that that's where I think you're a little wrong. That to pull a match off like that, to get a crowd to buy into what you're selling like that. I mean, That's really impressive. I mean, C-Red,
Thank you.
you know what I'm saying. It's literally 7 minutes before they do anything but a thumb war. That was the activity. Thumb war. That was it. 7 minutes.
They're working the test of strength now. That's where
That's how
that is.
that's how you know somebody is a worker. When you can have the crowd eating out the palm of your hand over anything you do, you've got it. Somebody posted earlier on social media. There's the difference between popping the crowd and knowing what the crowd wants.
Mhm.
And Pauly has always been like that. Pauly can make you hate him and despise him vigorously. Or clearly, after this show, Pauly can have you chanting stupid shit for 7 minutes and not touch and think about it. We keep saying 7 minutes.
7:40. We're at 7:40, and
But when
nothing
you
really
think about-
violent has happened at this
Just
point.
When you think about the length of actual 7 minutes, think about it. A lot of times guys work, and if you're lucky enough, somebody 5 minutes has passed and you're like, oh shit, okay, well, we're just in 7 minutes. They don't do anything, but the crowd is in a frenzy. That speaks to him and Joey. So kudos to you, my friend.
Thank
Again,
you,
it
man.
still shows that you control the narrative, and
Thank you, man. And I gotta be honest too. Like I was on a super high that day. I coach middle school wrestling. I'm an assistant coach at one of the middle schools here in McHenry.
Sectionals.
Yeah, and we had sectionals that day, man. And I was so geeked out because 3 of the 6 guys that qualified for sectionals made it to state. And that was huge. And I jokingly said, well, not joking, I mean, I meant it, obviously, because you guys, if you saw my social media, you saw that I actually did it this week. But I told those guys that if we get 4 of the 6 to qualify for state, I'll let them choose a tattoo that I'll tattoo on my leg. And they were like, no way, no way. You got no. I'm like, I swear, look, if 4 of the 6 you make it down there, I will tattoo something on my leg. Now, the guy that I coach with, I've known since I was in middle school. He was coaching when I was in middle school. And so he looks at me, he's like, Brandon. No, I'm like, yeah, no. If it happens, I'll do it, right? So we're at sectionals, and 3 of the 6 had already lost their first matches. And then in the tournament, it's a follow system. So if you're a guy that you lost to loses, you're now out of the tournament. There's no dropping down and trying to wrestle back. Like you have to hope and pray your guy wins. 3 of our guys were out right after the next round, right? And my 95 pounder, he looks at me and he's a 6th grader, and him and I really bonded this year. And he looks at me with these like puppy dog eyes. He's like, Coach, you're not going to tattoo yourself now. I'm like, no, I'm not, because there's 3 people gone. And he's like, oh man. I'm like, look, just shake that off. Like, go out there and wrestle, right? So now next round comes around. My 3 guys that were still in it, they all win. They all made it to the semifinals. They're all going to go to state now. So I said, listen, guys, because 3 made it, I know I said 4, but because 3, I will let you guys decide what tattoo I put on myself. And then that's what I ended up doing. If you saw the Viking head that I put on my leg this week, that was for my wrestlers. And only a couple of them seen it so far, but they were pretty excited.
It's a pretty impressive tattoo as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm proud of it, man. I love doing tattoos. It's a little side hustle that I have that I'm fortunate enough to be able to do it, so I can, yeah.
There's the tattoo.
Nice.
it's hot.
So
That's a very, you know what? That is something that those kids are going to remember for the rest of their lives.
I
And
hope
they
so.
will know you for the rest of their lives, because that tattoo is a bond you will now have with those forever.
yeah, I agree, man. I agree totally. And then like that singlet I'm wearing in that match with Chi-Chi from last Saturday, there's 6 stars going up. There's 3 stars on each side. I did that for the 6 guys that I had just coached that day at sectionals. So like, there's a little bit of meaning, and the blue and the silver. That's the Parkland colors that where I wrestle. So it was just, there was a lot of meaning behind all that day.
So
yeah,
3 bumps. None of you guys did them.
Nope. Nope. A ref bump or 2 ref bumps and Chris Hedford bump.
Yes, that's what I was like.
Work smarter.
Honky tonk man, tell me how to work like that.
Wasn't that amazing?
Awesome. Man.
If I could pull shit like that off, I'd be a superstar. That's fantastic stuff. That's just as good as it gets.
Well, listen,
Now-
man, like Hogan said a long time ago, life is one big work. You work it or it works you.
Uh-huh.
And that's nothing different than that match was right there, man.
Fair point
So-
indeed. And not only did you have the crowd, but you had the locker room as we were all huddled around.
Oh, really? Okay.
I was just going, it's been 7 minutes. And they're like, get out of here. It's been 7 minutes. We're going to call the title of your autobiography 7 minutes.
Nice.
7 minutes in February.
How about 7 minutes in heaven with Pauly Thomaselli?
There you go. We can do that too. Now, the last time you were on this show, Pauly, you revealed a lot of information that maybe some of us didn't know about Mr. PTP over here. And,
PTP.
he is, you said, you know what, bring him on and let's see what happens. So I'm very interested to see where you two go with your shared history, because I think that's funny.
I mean, honestly, there's really not a lot of shared history minus, the stuff at the Elite Dojo and learning, doing the Elite shows and stuff the few years we were there. Because then after that, like, he kind of went his way. I kind of went my way. We met up here in the middle every so often. And then, I mean, shit, the last time I saw you was probably Global, right?
Yeah.
Nubs?
Or
Yeah.
might have been DWA.
Oh, yeah, DWA. That's right. Yeah.
And I wasn't
and then,
supposed to be there.
Right. Kayfabe. And so I did notice you were standing very awkwardly right from the rip when I saw you at POW this past weekend. And I wasn't even going to hit you in the nuts. But then when I saw that, I'm like, now I have to hit you in the nuts.
Yep, I walked into my own issue.
Yeah. You didn't even come say hi to me. You just stood
Yeah,
there like
I
a goon.
I went and said hi to you.
Nope,
you
no,
you
you didn't.
kayfabed me. You
Oh,
kayfabed me.
he's superstar. Pauly, did he superstar you?
It's not. I think he was more afraid, like, he made fun of me on the podcast. So, like, I don't know if I should go by him or not.
No, I went right after Steve. I was right behind Steve. He shook your hand and I shook right after.
Sure. Okay. Maybe you're right.
And then you stood next to me and I was scared.
Yeah. You were terrified. No.
Very,
Scared.
very nervous.
Scared
Not
isn't
a-
even
not
a.
a sweat.
Yeah. You were. I was sweating from the heat that was coming off of your body. Like,
I felt that.
I'm like, you all right, Nubs?
I
You're like,
think
yeah,
so.
yeah. Like here's the thing about it, okay? So like, you guys are me, right? I'll pretend to be Nubs. You all right, Nubs? Yeah. You having a good time?
That's how it was.
Yeah. What the fuck? Why is this guy looking at me? What's wrong with this kid? Jesus fucking Christ. So yeah, so then I'm like, all right, now I gotta mess with him.
No,
Give me your balls because you're gonna
he
get
was
tapped.
like a human heat lamp.
Oh man.
Just sweating profusely, like, bro. Like I've hung out with you outside of wrestling shows. Like you're a friend of mine. Yeah.
So why are you nervous?
Why are you nervous now? He's not even within a nautical mile of you.
Dude, I don't know if anybody paid attention. As soon as you started that little transition, Steve, Nubby just like, wow, like what does Pauly have? Like,
Man,
what are you like? Is there a certain story that you praying to God Pauly don't drop?
That could
No.
be anything.
It's something. It's something.
Anything.
No.
Good.
Remember, dude, if I'm not making fun of you, that means I don't like you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was
So
just
why
I
the
was really
fuck were you
nervous.
looking off in the corner like a kid with AD or like Asperger's? Like, yeah, hey, hey pal, I'm good. Yeah.
I was just protecting my nuts. That was it. I was waiting for it.
That was more than just basic testicular protection.
Oh,
PYP, man, protect your pole. I guess I don't know what to tell you.
He's got to get a new T-shirt. I have to find him some more duct tape. Oh,
Good
my
Lord,
God.
Nubby. I was almost offended.
I
But then you got
I
you
was
got
the
me
one that
anyway.
was offended. I was standing there and I was, all these people that I've watched and I've been entertained by, Thomaselli, Jimmy Blaze, all these guys in Scott Spade that I've had issue with. And I'm waiting for someone to want to attack me. And what do I get? Chris Hedford. Chris Hedford comes. That's the only guy that wanted a piece of my ass. That's all there was. That's all I got. And then the other guy. Why can't I think of his name? Turtle, help me out. Chris Isles.
Israel?
Chris Isle.
No, he
Kazile,
wasn't
that's-
out there.
No, that's
He
the
wasn't
guy
out
that
there.
pulled me off of Chris and tried to throw me out the door and whack me in the back of the head. You touched me, wham! And I'm like, what? Who are you?
He was the one that hit Jimmy at the end.
Right? No, but his dad is the one that tried to.
Oh,
escort-
Trevor.
Oh,
Yeah,
Trevor.
Trevor took liberties. So I was looking for Pauly. I wanted to get hit by Pauly, but I didn't get hit.
No, you don't. Ask Nubby about that.
Nope. No,
I've
you don't.
got my little list.
I'm looking.
I got a chair
See
shot
red.
from Xavier. I've been chopped by Marche. Been chopped by Hunter. I need a Tomaselli wound.
I'll give you a chop. I'll give you ask these two fellas down, here. What's it like? They've gotten it.
So, okay, here's a story.
It's a date.
In
Oh,
in the beginning,
You got a story? You feeling a little better now, pal?
Got a story now. All right.
Now
Okay,
he's
so
awake.
in
Yeah.
the beginning of the Elite Pro Dojo, we had a show and we were training before the show. So it was chop day, apparently.
It's the only day I
So-
show up for.
Like there was like 15 to 20 guys on the students. Each one got to chop 3 times. Pauly was last for everybody. And when it came down to him, your chest is numb, so you shouldn't be able to feel anything. No, you can still feel his shit. That's how hard he is.
Dude, I was trained by Vito and Sal on how to hit someone. And a little bit with Low Key the one time I worked with him, but he showed me how to throw a chop. And so I kind of just gelled those 3 people together and into how I strike people. And yeah.
Quite a chop cocktail there.
Yeah. So it was yeah. Yeah. I'll never forget Low Key telling me. And yes, I just dropped the name. I don't give a shit. He's like, chop me, man. We were in the back and I kind of like do like a paintbrush, right? You're like, oh yeah. He's like, nah, man, don't do that. That's pussy shit. I was like, okay, well, what should I do? And he goes, he took his forearm from his elbow, to his fingertips, and he put that into my chest. And he's like, whoa. And I kind of like, he goes, you feel that? I was like, yeah. He's like, that moves somebody. A paintbrush won't move anyone. And I was like, oh. He goes, be a bulldozer. I'm like, I can do that. Especially at that time when I was just like, yeah, no, it was ridiculous. So yeah, man, that's how I'm like, oh, well, fuck it. That's how I'm going to do it from now on. Like, yeah, this moves someone, this doesn't. I'm like, oh, that's a good point. So
Very, very effective, and it has served you well over the years. So everybody loved your stories, and I know we scratched the surface. Let's dig a little deeper.
okay.
Give me some more. Give us some more.
I mean, okay, what do you want to like? What?
Leon, what do you want?
Like time frame?
You could ask a story. What would you want him most to tell you? I mean, I would listen all day to the hardcore Impact stories, but then C-Red might want the stories from the glory days of the Tomaselli, and Turtle's just trying to forget that this episode is happening.
I do have one story that I'd like to tell. It's about I actually like again. I got to thank you for last time because like I don't go back too often to like reminisce. Oh man, back in the day when I did this or blah 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 blah. Like I have so many things constantly going on that I'm always just moving forward. So we asked about favorite matches, and of course talked about the alternative match, which again, love it. Talked about the match with Vito and the ECW arena. I completely forgot about the one singles match that Sal and I had for IWA Mid-South. So again, Ian, say what you want about him. We'll preface it with that again. But he had some really good ideas with some of the shows that he did, and it was really, really cool. And he did these shows called Lethal Lottery shows. And they were legit lethal lotteries. You didn't know who you were working that night at the venue. When fans started coming in the building, everyone had to put their gear on because you didn't know what match you're going to be.
Right.
You just knew at some point your name was getting drawn out of a hat. So I want to say we were like match 2 or 3. We were early on in the card, and I thought Ian comes. We're all ready to go. He goes, Brandon, come on, you're up, kid. Get on out there. I was like, okay. So I start going to the ring. I'm thinking I'm the first name called for this next match. Okay.
Right.
So I'm out there doing my thing, Babyface Jones. Yeah. And as I turn, I look into the ring, and Sal's in the ring. What are you doing out there, man? He goes, you're my opponent tonight. I'm like, no, this is a different match. He's like, no, get on in. And I was like, oh, shit. So for me, mentally, I'm like, this is great. Like, I'm going to just follow Sal and follow his lead because Sal's my structure guy anyways as it is. Right. Sal's my go-to guy for everything as it is. So this will be perfect. He'll set me up to say and do some stupid shit, and we'll go from there. As I'm walking through the door, Ian goes, hey, kid, you're over. And I was like, all right, great. So, you tell the referee. The referee's like, hey, man, who's over? I'm like, I am. Sal, no, this is great, blah, blah, blah. So we start doing our thing. And that was at a point where you could start your match with 5 to 10 minutes of just pure chain wrestling.
Yeah.
Maybe do a little run spot, and then go right back into your chain wrestling. It was glorious, man. It was awesome. So we start wrestling around, do this, that, blah, blah, blah. Sal calls a little ditty, we come back around, blah, 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 a little more chain. Then a little ditty, we go to the outside. He goes, hit with your outside moonsault. Do that, yay. And then I go, hey, man, I got an idea. Follow me. So we start brawling to the back. We get back in the locker room. This is at the Midlothian building. So we get back in the locker room. He's like, what's your idea? I'm like, I don't know. My idea was to come back here. He goes, you get back out. He throws me out the door. Get back to me, you asshole. So yeah, I couldn't tell you any more part of the rest. I just remember, come on, man, I got an idea. Come with me. Well, my idea was just to come with me. Like,
right,
like I don't know. Figure it out, fella.
I wish there was a photo of the look on his face when you said, yeah, I got nothing.
Oh, it was this. Come on, yeah.
And that's Sal. That's Sal.
Yeah.
The here's the funny part.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I got it.
So for anybody that believes that Pauly is not telling the truth, he is. So I'm not sure how many years later it happened, but it happened. So we're there. Everybody's geared up. Who's the first one called? Jazz. I go out with Jazz. I tell the boys, all right, Shay, all right, Trauma. We'll see y'all when we get back. All right, we go. They pull the hat. Next thing we know, you! What the fuck? It's Marshay. And we were in the back like 10 minutes prior. Like, wouldn't it be funny if you had to wrestle him or he had to wrestle you? Like, we just never thought that shit would happen.
Funny how.
So Marshay and Jazz are looking at each other like,
shit.
What the fuck are we gonna do?
Jazz is going, man, my chest is gonna hurt tomorrow, motherfucker. I was hoping for something else.
It's typical Jazz, Marshay is gonna throw at least one chop, and Jazz is like, fuck that, ain't gonna be.
Yeah, but nobody makes better sounds when he gets chopped by Marshay than Jazz does.
But it's just it's the fact that, again, it feels so good to know that we weren't the only one that happened to. And again, it's a shoot. It's for real, people.
There's no like babyface hat and a heel hat because Ian couldn't afford to have two hats. So it's all just thrown into one hat. Hey, good luck,
Two hats.
And it's the hat off his head. So
yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. Totally.
You know, you go for it. And I mean, to me, it was memorable because now you have to watch. Like people looked at me like the fans were like, Reddy, what are you gonna do? Whose corner are you in? I'm like, I'm in both of them. Shit.
Right.
You know,
I'm
for
neutral.
me, that was the worst part. Is like I got come on, Jazz, come on, Shay.
But
You know,
yeah.
like I was
Hit him,
dead
Marsha,
after
but not that hard, baby.
I'm like, I'm dead after that. Like shit. I'm like, I earned my pay tonight.
Hey, but at least that actually cut a match out for you to go to the ring in extra time. So there you go. You actually did earn your pay that night because you went out there less times.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Because I hate when a promoter decides, okay, we're putting everybody in. If it was all of them, then you got Jazz and Willie in a tag match. You got Marche in a singles match. You got Trauma in a singles match. And it's like, and they're going to put them all back to back to back because that shit's happened. And
Yeah, well,
I'm like,
here's the deal. You either choose to not do it anymore, or you choose to do the job that you chose to do in pro wrestling and put your happy little jacket on and support your fucking boys.
and I always put my jacket
And you
on.
always do. You always do. Yes. I gotta say, man, those Lethal Lottery shows, for any wrestlers out there, whether you've been in for 3 minutes, 3 years, 30 years, I feel like everyone at some point in the year should do 1 to 3 of them a year of being on a Lethal Lottery show where you just go out there and you riff it, you have fun, and you just hope for the best. And you hope that you get Sal and not Vito that's gonna just beat the shit out of you, you know? Like yeah, this is great, man. Like, at least I'm gonna be able to work tonight. And then you try to do something cool, and then you realize it wasn't that cool, and Sal beats the shit out of you. So it was, yeah, no, it was awesome, man. But I truly feel everyone at some point should have the Lethal Lottery show purely for like fans dig it. You know, the wrestlers might not dig it, but you literally, it's a baptism by fire of going out there and learning how to work.
It
I love
puts
it.
them in a position.
and that's the point, that when you go out there and you don't know who your opponent is, and you can go out there and have a fucking great match, you can work.
Yeah.
It shows who can't work
Yeah.
when you get two people and one of them are like, well, am I the baby or are you the baby? You're like, you ain't got time to figure that shit out. Ding, ding, ding.
What
Get
is
it
the
in.
crowd like? Get out there and work.
Go work.
You know?
You know, so yeah, those were great times. Oh shit. Like you said it and it brought it up.
I do have my question. I figured it out as you guys were talking. I have my question
Rihanna's
Okay.
got a question.
for Pauly. The man cow episode. How was your process?
I did 2 of them.
Right. That's
So
like,
which-
oh yeah. That's why I'm asking, because
Okay.
of the different one.
So the first one I did, I was an angry, like, I think I was a gun supporter or something. I don't remember what, like, I was just, yeah, they're like, so you walk in and they literally just go like, all right, so hey, good to meet you. Oh, you're gonna do this today. And I'm like, I don't know anything about this. Like, fuck it, just wing it. But I don't know anything about, like, hey, no, you'll be fine. Don't worry, man. I'll lead you. You'll be fine. I was like, okay, I guess here we go. Like, so I was super uncomfortable with that episode because I was super uncomfortable with my character. I didn't really know. But man, Kyle leads you perfectly. Just go out there and be an angry dick. Like, I can do that. Cool, not a problem. The second time I got to be a juggalo with Machine. So Machine and I were juggalos, and I remember at the time I was working for the Clown, so I had jerseys. I had the Psychopathic Records shorts. You know, everything was way too big on me, and you know how it's supposed to be. And then I made a Dark Lotus mask, a lucha mask. And Prater had one of his jerseys, and then he had his actual Machine, like the burlap sack mask. No, I think he had his leather mask, his leather, like, domination mask with the dreads.
Okay.
So that gimmick, all we had to do was like walk into the doors, and people looking at us like, I really hope they're with Mancow. Like, cause no one with like IDs, like, yeah, I know these guys are cool. Don't worry about it, right? All we had to do was like go like bang on the windows, like, let us in. Like, you sold out juggalos. Like, you're a dick. Like, so then we just got to be juggalos, and like they invited us just to sit in the studio and like just make stupid comments anytime you want. We're like, really? Like yeah. I'm like, all right, great. Steve McCamus it is. Fuck yeah.
It, that show was controlled chaos. Like it
really
is
was.
100% chaotic, but it is so controlled to a T. Is absolutely amazing.
It is more of a work than professional wrestling or the NFL.
Yes.
I loved it. I loved
yes.
the one time. And I would never think that I would be able to say I was on the Man Cow show.
Right.
You know, but I'm there as C-Red, and then the Chicago Blitz or whatever they were called, the female football team.
I was there with the strippers. That was the one.
Hey man, you guys got the fun ones. I had to hang out with.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Well, but
and I love Prater. Don't get me wrong, but I'd rather be hanging out with those Brizzos than that.
It's me, Ego.
Oh, that's why Ego called that show. Like, yo, give me some broads, man. Like, what the hell, Frankie?
And it's like, okay, the whole time the girls are on me, and then I'm like, I'm gonna get in trouble for this shit. Like,
nah, bro, you're acting.
Not you.
Yeah, me. Like, cause I wasn't acting. Like,
it's so much stuff going on.
I'm enjoying this, and I taped it and showed my dad. And to show my dad when I got in,
made your dad proud.
Boy, he was smiling. He like, you had fun on TV, didn't you? Yeah, Dad, I did.
Of course I did.
Man.
He like, you going to work now? No, my wife there. I ain't going to work. Fuck that. I see that. I'm not going to work. No.
Now, since we're on the reminisce train here, we've talked about a lot of great, a lot of good, a lot of uplifting. We know this business. Oh, wait, Rion's got pictures. Is that Wilson Phillips? Was that the 90s? Anyway, yeah, if you don't know who Wilson Phillips is, Google it. And hold on for one more day. Nobody can see what you're showing.
That's right. I hate this phone. I hate it.
What cricket's that?
Wait a minute, is that Tiffany or Debbie Gibson?
I don't know.
The mind boggles.
See, man, again, I got robbed going then.
But wait, well,
and that's who
all the same show.
And that's who he went home with. That is
show.
who Rion took home that night.
Yeah, man. Show. I didn't have that kind of fun. I'll tell you who had the most fun on Mancow, I think, in my opinion, was Tristan Hayes.
Oh, of course.
Man.
Yes.
You're right.
He was the guy. He was the guy in the wheelchair, right?
Yes.
Tristan Hayes had the most fun and the easiest gimmick to do on that show. And in true Tristan Hayes fashion, got so much heat on him just for talking and saying hi. And that's all Pat needs to do, Tristan to do to get some heat. It's insane, dude.
Heat magnet.
I'm telling you.
Heat magnet.
So we've heard the good. What is a match or a situation that made you question your involvement in this business? Because we all have that moment where something happens that makes you just go, why in the good God do I do this? I had one recently, so that's why this is on my mind. A few weeks ago in Franklin Park, I had one of those moments. Why do I do this? So I'm just curious, did you ever, maybe you've never had one. I mean, you've had an amazing career. You're still having an amazing career. Seven touchless minutes is unbelievable. But
hey, I look, and again, April 16th will be 19 years. So roughly 19 years. I've never not had a match that I didn't bump it. So that's the first time I didn't bump in a match. So that's, yeah, I feel really cool about that.
Groundbreaking. But
yeah.
what about the is there
the
ever
ugly, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? I'm trying to think. Like, I've had times where things get a little like real in the ring, you know? But I don't think I've ever like gotten in the back and went, I'm questioning my life decisions right now. Like, why am I doing this? You know? Yeah, man, I can't say that I've ever had like.
I mean, that's a good. I mean, that's a great answer because you know that means you have paved your road in a way that you are not put to task to the point where you're questioned.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and here's the thing though,
That's
too,
all
man.
respect.
Like you guys know me. You know, people out there that are listening might know me. Like, I've changed a lot in the past 2 years, but there was the longest time where like what I say goes, f off, and this is what we're gonna do. You know, so I was always really able to kind of just get in what I wanted to get in, and not have to worry about someone else's quote unquote dumb ideas or things like that. So, but yeah, like again, like I said, there's been times where things got a little real there. Dysfunction and I, when we were both green as grass up in Milwaukee, we had gotten into a few little a little striking matches, you know, pissing contests and stuff. But like I said, there's never really been a bad time where I was like, oh boy, what am I doing right now?
Right.
So yeah, no, I shit, man. I wish I had actually a story for you, but I don't. I feel terrible.
Well, now that will transcend into another question. Why do you think that is? Because I know, obviously, I know a great many people, and I ask this question a lot, and everybody can usually give me one. What does that say about your career where you don't have that moment?
Look, I'm sure there's many matches I've had that people have seen where they went, that kid needs to quit the business right now. But so I'm not saying I've never.
I had that Saturday. I had a moment like that Saturday.
I'm not saying I've never actually had that. Looking back, thinking about it, I personally don't remember anything like that. But to answer your question, that if that is how it really is, the reason I've never had that was because again, I was always around the right people. I kind of talked about the last time I was on. I've always had the right people pushing for me, whether it was my brother or Danny Daniels, you know, guys like that got me to certain spots. CM Punk then putting me over to Ian Rodden then put me over to the guys at CZW, things like that. There's always been a slow snowball effect of things, and you know, the Deliriouses, the Matt Seidels, Jimmy Jacobs, those guys there when I first got to IWA Mid-South, Claudio, you know, that guy, like I was always in the right spot at the right time and having the right people always looking out for me, that I never was able to get into that, like, oh boy, I shouldn't be doing this anymore. I screwed up, because I was always like, fuck, I just learned so much out of this one. Like, I can't wait for the next one. I can't wait for the next time. So I think that's kind of why.
That is a fantastic answer. And that, I think people that are in this business need to hear stuff like that, because it is very much what you make it to be, and what you take away from it. It's all about perception, which I think is really important.
Like, I can tell you definitely a stinker match that I had, but at the time I didn't question, like, oh man, I shouldn't be doing this anymore, because I'd only been in for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years at this point. I remember it was for an NWA Midwest show. There was about, and I'm being generous, 15 to 20 people in the crowd. It was a rough one.
We've all been there.
Yeah. And I had worked earlier in the night. I want to say against Bryce Benjamin, maybe.
Okay.
One of those guys. It was all the NSPW guys that were there, like the students and stuff. And but Austin Aries was coming in to defend his NWA Midwest X Division title. But he was doing a double shot with IWA Mid-South, and I'm coming here. I forgot who he was supposed to work, but they didn't show up. So me, I'm like, well, I'll do it. Yeah. Not realizing that I wasn't going to have a lot of time to put the match together, not realizing that I was green as shit. And I really had no business being in there with a guy like Austin Aries, especially at that time. This was like 2005-ish.
Oh.
So 2000, I would say 2005.
Okay.
So yeah, man, I'm like I said, I'm a young, thin, not needing to be with Austin Aries, but watching everything Austin Aries was doing at that time, right?
Right.
And I remember we were in the back. He's like, "Don't worry, man. Like, I'll guide you out. We'll be great. We're this." I'm like, yeah, we got this. And I had none of it. And he's bumping me for stuff. We go to do the double down, and I shoot right back up. He's like, "Get the fuck down!" Like, what is this? I'm like, you don't belong here. Yeah. So yeah, no, that was definitely a stinker of a match. But at that point, I think I was too young to go, you probably shouldn't be doing this anymore, kid.
How long do you think you have left? How long do you think this ride lasts for you? You've been doing this 19 years. That's a long time. I still marvel at Red getting around like he has for going on 19 years himself. How do you know?
Yeah. I always told myself I'm going to stop when it's not fun anymore. So when this shit stops being fun, when I'm not having fun doing it, when it's a chore to get out of the house, then I'll be done. Screw it, right? And there was a time back when I was married and my ex-wife, you could tell it was starting to get to be a little bit too much. You know, she didn't really want me doing this. Missing Saturdays, missing family parties, things like that. It got to be a little tumultuous with stuff, but she knew that was like I don't go out drinking, I don't do any drugs. She's like, this is the one thing he does that, you know, that's fine.
Right.
And at the same time, if we did ever argue about it, I was one going, wrestling's been around a lot longer than you. It's going to be around a lot longer after you're gone. Like, you know, like
Look at Red pointing.
Yeah.
Or C-Red.
So
C-Red felt that, tasted that, heard that.
Because we've all said it, man.
My nigga.
Yeah. So I would say I will be done wrestling when it's not fun anymore. But that being said, the problem was I was ready to kind of get out, and then Craig and I started teaming, and that mother effer has made wrestling fun for me. And it not only did it make wrestling fun, but it literally gave me a third brother in life, brother from another mother, man. That
I love Craig. What a great
guy. Hardcore Craig. Like I said, without being blood related, him and Sal, there's not like one over, like they're at the highest, most equalist level they could possibly be at, where they're nudging Vito against the wall, where Vito's nose is like, shit, guys, give me some breathing room. I just need to breathe for 2 seconds. And they're like, nah, man, sorry, Brandon's doing this. I don't have to tell you. Like so, you know, those three guys in my life, through the best of times to the worst of times with everything, have been there through everything for me with that. So, like, that being said, you know, like if Craig didn't make it fun, if Craig didn't make it enjoyable, if it wasn't, you know, standing there with the guy where I can literally look at him like this, and we've just had a 10-minute conversation, that glance, it's hard to give something like that up when you're having a good time. So yeah, I'll say I'll be done when this shit's no longer fun anymore.
How about, is there somebody out there right now? I'm not talking about the past. I use the word dream match, and I use it cautiously because I know if you could have a dream match, you'd probably want to fight Randy Savage or the Ultimate Warrior, one of those guys.
I would want to team with them. Okay.
Survivor Series and shit.
Yeah. Like I would want me, Warrior, Savage, and Craig. Like
that's amazing.
Survivor Series match, right? Against the perfect team of Perfect and Demolition with the 3 Demolition. Like I would want that. Or if I could really get Fantasy Jones here, it would be us against the 4 horsemen of Rick, Arn, Barry, and Sid.
Nice.
Yeah,
those are solid.
That would be a dream match for me. But as far as like an actual reality,
somebody working today, whether it be on the big TV stage or local.
On the big TV stage, I would say Sting, because he's still technically working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, he went through a fucking table.
Still don't believe that.
I would like to
60 years old, man, went through a table.
I would like to work
Just we hope I'll get one.
Daniel Bryan. I think I could have a tremendous match with Daniel Bryan. Love that dude. Met him one time, and he's like, yeah, he's awesome. As far as like indie guys, I don't know, man. I just had a match right. I got the Crown Champ, paper, rock, scissors. I would want to work any one of that. Anyone and everyone that I can at work right now, because like I said, it's always a learning experience, something new that I would just love to see like that, you know. And that's why I after talking with Hunter at the last POW show, and then talking with Jimmy a little more, like I'm a little bit more into the whole gimmick of this POW versus SCW stuff, because I want to get down to SCW and start working people that I don't see every weekend.
Oh, there's still a chance I'll get chopped.
Oh, no, you're gonna get chopped. I'm just gonna do it the next time we see you, regardless, whether we're on a show. Yeah, it'll be fine. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to kind of working and just seeing, you know, other people that are out there that would go out there at the time, you know.
Yeah, they would love you. They would love you in Shabance. That would be
and I also want to say back to the when will I quit? I will quit when I can tell a rookie that I have gear older than you. Derek St. Holmes. I'll never forget Derek St. Holmes telling me that man, yeah, because like how Derek, I would always mess with Derek. Hey man, you want to hear a funny story? Yeah, what's that? He knew what the funny story was every time I'd say it, but he would just play into it, just because Pauly's being a dick. Hey man, you want to hear a funny story? Yeah, Pauly, what's that? I'm like, I saw you wrestle at Rockford Boylan High School when I was in 8th grade. Yeah, man, I remember. I'm like, I know. I just wanted to remind you that I watched you wrestle when I was a kid. So that was our joke. Then he's like, he goes, I've always wanted to tell someone that we were getting put in a match together, going, nah, kid, we're not doing that because I have gear that's older than you. And that just makes me giggle so ridiculously hard.
That happened to me at Rocket Pro this week.
A lot of young people at Rocket Pro this weekend.
So many,
a lot of young kids. A
so
lot
many.
of young kids.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You mean the people that stole the Blitz building?
Hey, I already talked to Scarpone.
Scarpone was there. Scarpone
I
was there.
I swear I'm only
and now
joking.
He hates me even more, which I didn't think was possible. But
Scarpone hates you?
I don't think he likes me very much.
Oh well, I should probably get going.
There's nothing about Scarpone professional wrestling that I can represent in any way positively because I exist, because I'm
my brother's promoting some show with him coming up, some variety show or something.
I want to see that show. If I wasn't previously booked, I would go to that show. And I saw a video of Vito running around in the ring with Bryce. He looks great.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I
Don't call it a comeback.
2 people. I was like, shit, Vito, what the hell? Like, I guess that's the way you train to come back. Shit.
Like you never left.
Listen, Vito, man, that guy, and Debbie can attest to this too, because he's trained with him. He is go big, go home, go balls to the wall, or don't go at all. So if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do my damnedest to do the absolute best that I can possibly do, or I'm not going to waste my time. So, but yeah, man, I don't
think it's just Vito, and I don't know your parents, but I have to believe that they some kind of way instilled that in both of you, because every fucking thing you do, Pauly, that's how you do it. So I mean, I know Vito. I mean, I know both of you guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, both you really.
Let me just tell you.
We're selling.
Let me tell you a little story about my mom. All right, and 4'10", 85 pounds, and I'm not ashamed to admit this. I'm terrified of the woman. She gives you a look, and you're like, "Yo, mom, I was only joking." She's like, "Yeah, you better be." Now that being said, sweetest woman on the planet. There's no one else I would do anything else for. My mom is the absolute best. But when we were growing up as kids, and it was, man, I don't want to go to school today. Mommy, my stomach hurts. I can't go to school. And she's like, yeah. Did you throw up? No. Are you dead? No. All right, get your ass ready for the bus and let's go. Like, that's the way she was. So now fast forward, 20 some years later, Sal was living with my folks for a minute, but him and Vito moved back from California.
Okay.
And he had gotten a job through a buddy of my dad's. My dad kind of hooked him up, just kind of get him on his feet and see where things are going. And it was a cold winter morning, and it was a construction surplus store, basically. And Sal had to work outside, and 130-pound Sal at the time, the slightest wind blew him over because he was freezing all the time. So he's like, "Fuck, man! Like, I am not going to work today. Like, I'm." This is the mentality that he had waking up. And him and my mom would wake up around the same time, and like they'd have coffee and say, "I would go to work." My mom would go to work, and he's like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" She's like, "Oh, hey, how you feeling?" So I was like, "Oh, man, I don't feel good today. I don't think I'm gonna go into work." And my mom has this look. We call it the Julie look. Like, "Oh, you just got the Julie shit." Like, it's like the Medusa. Like, "Oh, I'm stoned," So I'll never forget him telling me the story the first time where he's like, "Yeah, man, your mom terrified me today. I finally know what you mean when you say you're terrified of that little woman." I go, "Oh, what happened?" I woke up, I want to go, blah, blah. I say, "Hey, I don't feel like going." And she gave me this look, and like my entire insides just like froze and I was scared and I just went, I'm going to go shower and I can't wait to go to work today because it's not that bad. So like, yeah, to this day, we call it getting the
It's hard than it was outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you dying? Are you throwing up? No. Get your ass to work.
Get
I don't
your
want to
ass
hear
to
it.
work.
Yeah. So when you're not living under this roof in my basement, then you can do whatever the fuck you want. But until then, don't give me that shit. Get your ass to work. So like, dude, it's gotten to the point now in my life where, you know, you meet women on like dating apps or whatever. And, you know, you start talking like, hey, how's your day going? Oh, I called into work today because I just didn't feel like going. Like, cool, yeah. And I'm going next. Like, I can't be with someone like that. Like, no. How am I going to introduce you to my mother? She's going to look, go, what? You didn't feel like going to work? Why? God, what do you sack something happen on your show you didn't like? Yeah, fuck off. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be that. No, no, she instilled like again, this is the same woman that like I was taught when you commit to something, you don't blow it off because something cooler came up.
You better
So
be.
I signed up for baseball when I was a kid. I wanted to be like my Uncle Jerry. My Uncle Jerry was at the time played in the major leagues. So I wanted to be just like my Uncle Jerry because he was like a huge idol to me, knowing that he had made it to like the top of Major League Baseball. Like he was in the major leagues. So that was a dream. And then I remember one summer, my neighbors, we were all like, we were family, like our family was friends with their family. They were getting ready to go on their boat the one day. And like, Brandon, come out with us. And I was like, let me go ask my mom. And hey, mom, you know, can I go on the boat? And like, she's like, no, you have a baseball game this afternoon. Oh, I'll just skip it. She's like, you don't skip something like that. You signed up for it, you're going. So again, this is, 9-10 years old. Like, that's how things were instilled in me now. So yeah, no, like if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it the right way. And then like my dad, who he's the guy that's always, always have the right tool for the job. Don't slack off on things. So again, I want to be a tattoo artist. I talked to Sal about it. So this is the gun I'm going to get. This is the gun Vito said, the machine Vito said to get. And, this is what I want to do. And then luckily for me, Sal got it for my birthday last year. I want to learn how to sew. I go out and I buy a Singer sewing machine at the time because in my head, Singer was the best. They've been around for 100 years, blah, 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 blah. Just how I am, man. If you're going to do it right or don't do it at all. And that's my no nonsense coaching way of doing things, everything else.
All right. I have another question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
This question is actually for you to direct to Nubby.
Okay.
Nubby, are you still alive? Are you still conscious?
So
For now.
since he is trying to transition from the refereeing aspect to the wrestling aspect,
PTP,
and you doing it for so long, do you have any advice for him switching from one side of the fence to the other side, knowing the previous history?
Do I have any advice for him?
Nubby is complete.
Well,
If he was eternal, he's gone into.
Well, I mean, look, the number one, he's already been trained in the art of professional wrestling.
Right.
So out of a lot of people, like a lot of referees, I'm not saying every referee don't be like, oh, yeah, no. A lot of referees, out there that just come to be a referee, at least he has that part of the training done, which is the hardest part. So I would say, hey, go get actually trained just because you've reffed a couple matches and you know how to take a pump. So at least he knows that part. I would also say, get some refresher courses and hit up a guy like Bryce Benjamin, especially if Vito's going to be at the school farting around because he wants to just get some cardio in. I would try to coordinate something like that. And then, we'll start working mock matches where they go, hey, man, you have 5 minutes. Put them at just like we used to do at the school. You have 5 minutes. Every second you're over, you have 10 push-ups for every second that you're over that you have to do. That way you work on your timing and just get your timing down and go from there. But I mean, obviously, man, you seem to be doing all right. So I guess you're doing okay. But yeah. And I wouldn't hang out with Steve anymore. I'd find a good.
It's fair. It's fair. I can't argue with that. That's solid logic. This is
Although
why-
Steve does get bonus points for me for wearing the Gorilla Monsoon blue glasses.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, but that's the only good thing about him.
Fair. It's fair. This is why I was so shocked when I tell you what, let's do that again. Oh, okay. Red. Do you we're now at the power hour and a half. Do you have any thoughts for Pauly as we take this ship back into dock, if you will? I mean, obviously we're gonna have to bring you back for number 3. I'll change my glasses for
Hey,
it.
I'll take a number 3 on you guys anytime. I love that. So let's for sure.
You're gonna have to work a little bit because Marche's at 13. Don't know why he keeps coming back.
Jesus
I
Christ.
gotta give him a jacket.
I'm just as shocked as you. I was like, 13 for real? Like, yeah, 13.
I think
Good
Marche
Lord.
just pities me. He's like, that poor bastard. He tries really hard. Let me give him a cookie.
I love Marche, man. I really do. He's part of one of my favorite stories, the Booker T story, where it was just sitting there like watching Booker T hype me up. But did I tell that story here?
Tell it right now.
Oh
Tell
shit!
it
I'm sorry.
right fucking now.
I already told that story. So, I'm getting ready for a match. Booker T was my manager for the match against Chris Logan at one of the WrestleFests. We're doing the whole thing. I'd won the King of Joliet deal, where it takes the king to know a king was my line to get Booker T to come out and manage me. So, do the whole thing with Booker, let him know his little cues that he needs to know, and then I'm in Gorilla, and I'm just kind of getting ready to go. I'm going through things in my head, and like this giant of a man, because I didn't realize as big as he was, he is a huge man. So I just feel his presence like hovering over me. You ready, dog? Yeah, man, I'm ready. Are you ready, dog? Like, yes, man. Are you ready? Get the fuck. Let's go. Come on, baby. You got this. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go kill someone right now. And he's like, you got this. They kind of like good talk, see awkward. He walked away, and I was just like, yeah, like let's go through this now. I didn't think anyone saw that because it was just like you said, it was right in front of the gloves. And I look over and I see Marche. He's like, the next time you have him tell us story, I can't do him. I can't. My imitation does no justice. He's like, Pauly.
Ask him next week.
Oh shit! I can't believe that. And I was like, I don't. Fuck yeah, dude, that was great, man.
I will ask him next week about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Those are two fantastic interpretations of two great people. Your Booker T impression with your eyes got all big. That was a home run.
That's what it was. Ready, dog? Yeah. Come on. I got the spots. Don't worry. Like, I'm honestly thinking that he's like, come on, kid. You're going to get this right. Like, don't fuck up out there. No. He was literally like, he was my Flavor Flav, like my hype man. Like, yo, you got this. I was like, yeah.
That's one
Kill
big
someone
ass
right
Flavor
now.
Flav. That is a big ass Flavor Flav.
Got a sewer cover instead of a clock.
Jesus.
That's like Flavor Flav took the Bane juice. I'm like,
But that impression of Marche was fantastic.
it was the eyes, man. Like, I'll never. Pauly,
I've seen that look on Marche.
Yeah.
did that just happen? Yes, blast my face. He's like, man, yeah. He's like, no one will ever hype me up that much ever in life.
Oh man, that's too good. That's too good.
Oh.
Well, I don't think we need to do any more right now. I think we need to end on that one. Now, I'm gonna do what we did the last time. We have some house cleaning to do for some things that are upcoming.
Get out of here.
You can run away.
Get out of here.
You can run.
Okay, on that note, I have a meeting that I have to get to
And
right
you've got a meeting.
Yeah.
You've got kids.
So before you go, Pauly, since everybody wants to show pictures,
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
now. Man, I got screwed over every time on that damn show.
And Red's been married 3 times. There they are.
Yeah, there they are. Hey,
The
guys,
spin
I
to the
can't-
sensation.
I can't thank you enough for having me on again. We will definitely set up to do a part 3 whenever you want. I love doing this. I love coming on. I love all you guys, and I appreciate it. So thank you again. And yeah, let's talk real soon.
All right, that's Pauly Thomaselli, the one and the only 7 Minutes in Heaven, the new book coming out later this fall on paperback by Phantom. Thank you, Pauly. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Adios,
Pauly.
fellas.
All right, that's Pauly Thomaselli.
Right, back to business.
I didn't mean to cut
Uh-huh.
it all off, but I don't know how we could have ended that any better.
Well, you had to. You had to.
All right. So we've got some things to talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Well,
Red's
now,
got the face.
why is Red mad again? Jesus
Business.
Christ. I lied to you. What did I do now? Why you
No. Just trust me. Wherever you go, I'm about to follow. So trust me.
Well, where should we go? Should we talk about Rocket? This past Saturday night in Joliet, Illinois, Rocket Pro Wrestling, from the ring to the stars one more time. We had standing room only in February. We had even more people this month. I don't know where we're going to put any more people if they show up. And legit, Tony Scarpone was there. So it's always good to see him. I kind of embarrassed myself in front of him, so I don't think I'll be getting any jobs any other places. But we had a good show. Turtle made his big RPW debut and got the biggest chant for a ref that I've ever heard.
And I didn't even initiate it. I didn't do anything.
He just
I
walked
walked out there.
started going, ref, ref. They weren't even saying turtle. They were just chanting the ref. It was pretty impressive.
Well, I think that crowd, minus a few people that we seen, they don't know me. They don't know me as the turtle.
Well, they
just
know
see
you
me
now.
as a ref. Well,
Nubby
they'll
Jones,
definitely
back
they
on
will
the
know.
block, just like the new
They
kid.
they will know me soon enough.
The main event was a match for the ages. It shocked me to find out that Michaels and Marche have never fought before. And this was a first-time match.
I could have told you that.
Well, you could have, but you didn't, because Morris Day's ticket's still sitting there at the window.
I was there.
Hey, I told you, Batman.
Nubby, was there a Morris Day ticket?
Oh, I made sure of it.
It's real. Morris Day is real. OEO. So Steve Michaels is a giant human.
Yes, he is.
And he is so over in Joliet. It's hard to believe. And he and Marche conducted a clinic of entertainment and had the crowd eating out of their hands.
Speaking of eating,
Turtle, don't let us
Really?
interrupt you, man.
really,
Oh,
really,
Manny,
oh, that's fine. That's fine. It's fine.
no, it's not. No, it's not.
that's not right.
Yeah,
How rude.
I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it. Carry on. Carry on.
So Marche and Michaels went to it, and it was one of the matches that just literally caught this crowd on fire. And it came down to the end, and of course the fabulous frauds like to ruin every damn thing. So they came out to the ring because Marche had been tossed out like yesterday's laundry, and Michaels was in the ring by himself. So the Idols came out to help their boy. But what the Idols didn't expect, and the fans and myself, even though I have since apologized to Marche for, not realizing that he was in fact a victim in many ways. Marche Rocket saved Steve Michaels, and they've beat the Idols down together, proving once and for all that Joey Roth, Johnny Nye, Gunner Brave, who else is in the damn? Flash is in that. Yeah, but he wasn't there because he talked mess. He talked mess on the internet about me and couldn't face me.
Kevin Cade and
Who?
Kevin Cade.
Who is that? Which one's that?
He was the one that
Is that the Tully Bertorelli lookalike?
Well, give or take. He was the one that helped Damian Gray and
Oh,
Johnny Nye hit me
Damian
in
Gray.
the
That's the
head.
guy that looks like Dollar Stop Travolta wearing Olivia Newton-John's pants.
Yeah, they're the ones
Right.
that beat me in that 6-man.
Yeah, and Rion got beat hard, and then all of a sudden, No Coast became a whole battalion, which was cool. So it was not a great night for the Idols, but right after Marche beat the Idols down and beat them back, and he and Michaels were facing them down as they were walking back, beaten up the ramp. Marche grabbed Joey Roth's title that he left behind, kadonked Steve Michaels behind the referee's back, and got the 1, 2, 3. So Marche retained his title. And Steve Michaels took exception to what Marche did and put him in the longest, most intense bear hug that I've ever seen anybody endure. Marche collapsed in that man's arms like paper mache. He was down and he was out. And then enter Christian Rose with the rocket to the top briefcase. And Christian Rose cashed it in. To Marche's credit, even though he took the beating of a lifetime and withstood 5 to 7 minutes in that bear hug, fought off Christian Rose initially and had him set up almost perfectly for the M80, missed the M80, took big iron right across his face. 1, 2, 3. Christian Rose, your brand new Rocket Pro Wrestling champion.
There's gonna be a lot of people that are upset because there's a good portion that left.
Yeah, a lot of people left after Marche won. And then all of a sudden this happened, and then you saw people running back in. Like, you should know by these Marvel movies, man. There's always deleted scenes at the end. You don't leave until the credits are done. Right, Red?
Keep going on with the show. Because I want you to
You just want to get
to the
I already know
to the
what-
promo.
Just get
To the promo that you released.
talk about the promo.
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, talk about it.
well, I don't know what your problem is. You're the ARC. You're not part of Idols. What the hell do you care?
I care because I care about Flash Harris.
Well, Flash Harris wasn't even there.
Flash Harris had a family situation to deal with.
Right, that's fine. We all have
So,
family situations.
but you're still running off at the mouth.
Well, I have to run off at the mouth.
You're still running off at the
Then you
mouth, Steve.
tell your boy to get
And-
my
and
name out of
let
his
me-
mouth.
And so let's cross-reference this with your whole trip up to POW with the other guests. All in the car, and we're driving to POW because we're tired of SCW and we're gonna go see some POW entertainment.
We did.
And what footage do I get sent to me? Steve, you're attacking people now?
Maybe.
But you haven't learned that your mouth is constantly overloading that huge ass of yours.
Perhaps.
So whether it's Flash, whether it's Commissioner Hetford, somebody's going to take your head off.
Well, they tried, didn't they, Rion? Didn't they try?
They did.
Why don't you tell the boy what they tried and what they did? Nubby, you were there. You saw what happened.
Nubby
They
can't say
didn't-
shit because Nubby, I'm just the driver. Get footage of Nubby. It's
Wait,
kind of
but-
funny how the two people that said they're just going to watch the action. They want to see the entertainment, yet are in the middle of the bullshit.
Let me tell you this about that. And I will reiterate this on Saturday in Shabant's. Hunter Payne is a hell of a field general. He's a hell of a motivator. And he sold me on what we were doing. And I was wrong. And maybe you were wrong, C-Red. for
Oh, I'm
turning
never
your back
wrong.
on him.
I'm never fucking wrong. I'm never wrong.
You might be a little wrong.
Never wrong.
Now, see, I love you, and that's true. And I respect you. That's also true. And I've always got your back. That's true. But
Don't say always.
some of these
Go ahead.
some of these places where you and I cross paths, the dynamics are shifting somewhat. You know, at Crash Tested, I'm your boss.
Okay, I know. And am I supposed to be scared? Back
No,
down?
not at all, because I'm not there to abuse power. I'm there to make.
Oh, you're
ECW
not there.
great.
You're not there to abuse power yet. You put Renee in a match for an award that we know really belongs to her. You
The
put
fans have
Miles
spoken.
in a match against Mr. I'm stuck in the 80s. Like, dude,
Rod, Daddy, Andy.
You know,
he knows who.
a quarrel with this. So you go.
And then you decide to put me
Got to stretch.
in the match that you deem called the hell to heaven or whatever the
Wait just a minute. Who is the Crash Tested Wrestling Superstar of the Year?
hold on.
I know.
Yeah,
I know that one.
Now,
Because you say you earned it. Okay. Why are you complaining about being in a match then?
Not
You earned
complaining
Superstar
about
of
it.
the Year.
I'm not complaining at all, but let me decide what match I want.
Who gives you the right to choose what match? Are
'Cause
you the boss?
not only am I a wrestler, Turtle, I'm a authorized manager, something you know nothing about. I have paperwork. So therefore, again, I sign contracts. I sign my people's contracts. So I didn't get said contract. I just got contract sent. Said, hey, this is what the fuck you're doing. So,
Well, then do what the fuck you're told.
and I will have a pleasure in beating your ass first.
listen.
If you can catch me.
Okay, so let's
You ain't
stop.
that fucking fast.
Let's stop the bravado. You guys are both valued members of the Crash Tested roster. My point was very simply this, Red. In a match with the gravity of Heaven through Hell, why wouldn't the fans want to see the Superstar of the Year compete for the opportunity to be champion? It's like you're in the NBA Eastern Conference Finals and you sit LeBron.
LeBron plays in the West. Damn.
Yeah, but he hasn't been relevant since he's been in the East.
What the fuck? How dare you?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Do you want to have a debate about? Do you want to have a debate
focus,
about what a piece of
focus,
shit LeBron James
focus.
is?
Okay.
Because I'll debate you all day, like Marche.
It's not
I'll give
even-
you the GOAT. I'll give you Brady. But if you try to tell me that
Hey,
LeBron is nothing more than a
hey,
piece of shit,
hey.
you're gonna have to sell me hard. Don't LeBron me.
You got the time.
Don't flop me. I got strong feelings about Mr. James.
Obviously, it's like,
My one wish in life is that the Bulls do not sign Bronny. Because I want him in Chicago like I want a flaming case of herpes.
just
Anywho, C-Red, you are the face as the Superstar of the Year of Crash Tested Wrestling. The fans voted you as the best. You have to be in that match. You have to represent the company, and you will. You're no stranger to title gold. You say it half a dozen times a week. Now's your time. I'm giving you opportunity because that's the kind of general manager I am. We're breeding greatness because we're putting the right people in the right place at the right time. What, he's covering his nose.
Sorry.
He's about to make a smell my bullshit
Yeah,
comment, isn't he?
yeah.
I'm glad you already know.
So there's that. And I know you love Flash, and at one time, so did I. But Flash can't seem to keep my name out of his mouth, and he keeps saying that I can't keep his name out of my mouth.
And you can't.
And his faction attacked me. Straight up.
Didn't last week you told the idols, Flash, and anybody else that wanted to get in your face, you was there? Like you wasn't backing down?
And I didn't.
So they got in your face. They took liberties. You didn't expect them to call a receipt on the bullshit you called?
Well, I did, I guess, but then the joke was on them
How?
because I knocked old boy down like a sack of bricks. And how did they have to take me down? Nut shot, sheep way out, the way idols do.
But did they really come up on the short end when they've got a title shot coming up in March?
Here's the thing. And I said this in my little presentation. They've taken the lid off Pandora's box. I am 10 feet away from that ring. And if they pull some of that idle bullshit on no coast, it's on. And you can't save Flash.
Oh, I don't have to say Flash. Flash can beat your ass all by himself.
He can try. See, that's the thing. I think you all think of me as, you know, loudmouth Steve from 5 years ago.
No, Steve,
Times have changed.
are you working out and trying to get slim and trim? Yeah, but again, I want you to understand, by the time the idols handle whatever they need to handle with no coast, you've got to get up, come around from the table, get down and get past the barrier. And Steve, the shit is over with. 1, 2, 3. It's time to go home at that point. New tag champs. You ain't that fast. You ain't that fast, Steve. You ain't that fast. You trust me, you're not that fast. I would even bet Nubby versus you in a race. I would take Nubby.
Well, I would take Nubby too. That just makes sense. So Rocket Pro, great night. Great new champion. The self-destruction of the idols. We all got to dance with Rion.
That's so weird.
We hope to see Rion.
So
I want to see Rion compete for a title. I see pictures of you with the PCW title online, and I'm
long
like,
time ago.
we need to strap
Long
Rion.
time ago.
You're just
Long
an
time ago.
ordinary referee and crash tested, aren't you?
Yeah.
You might need to change that.
Well, I realized you have the power to do stuff. I'm okay. I'm okay. You know,
We'll see.
You don't have to. I mean, I have to do whatever. But I'm saying that if I had a choice, I would. I'm fine.
I mean, picture this, if you will,
Mm-hmm,
the next Destiny show.
mm-hmm,
C Red,
mm-hmm.
Miles Mercer versus you and me.
Your point?
Be a hell of a match, wouldn't it?
I wouldn't deny it'd be a hell of a match, but as I stated before, I'm all right. I don't need to.
And Rion's faced me and Miles before and crash tested.
It's you don't have to do that. It's okay.
It didn't come out so well.
Oh, here's the funny part. I just might be a little drunk on power.
I guess I'll drink this. I guess.
This Friday night in Franklin Park, CSW presents St. Patrick's Day Massacre. Now, before I start getting my inbox overloaded, Marche Rocket, is unavailable for this match, even though he is an advertised performer. And why? Because he's working for NWA and involved heavily in the Crockett Cup. Nobody deserves the blessed nature of success more than Marshe Rockett. I wish him well, and I'm sure he will represent Chicago style wrestling like nobody else can. And then there's the matter of Sky Blue. Sky Blue, you're seeing all over AEW television right now. You see her on every show. You see her on Rampage. You see her on Dynamite. You see her on Dark. She's everywhere. She's doing well. She's under contract. And there was an injury to an AEW superstar at an indie show. So AEW brass has asked their athletes to scale back somewhat. So due to a commitment that she has now and mandate from AEW, we will not be able to have Sky Blue this Friday night either, but we've got interesting replacements for these people, and it's going to be a hell of a show. Plus, where we are in Rion Vision on this show, Friday night in Franklin Park, we will be in Swoggle Vision as Hornswoggle as our special guest. That should be fun. Red, have you ever worked with Hornswoggle? I hear Dylan's a hell of a dude.
Been on show with Hornswoggle. He's cool.
Do you like him? Have you ever had to do anything with him, you know, in a ring type setting? No? Red.
I got backstage and talk shit.
Red, what's wrong? You seem a little forlorn.
Really? Just keep going. Keep going. The show Friday.
He got things to say. He just waiting to say the things. We got special plans for CNC Destruction. They'll be in attendance. Pardua and his lawyer will be there. I've got some fun for them, some St. Patty's Day fun. Turtle will be there leading the refs as he usually does. We will have the scramble match, the Squoggle Scramble with Acid Jazz, Axel Rico, Iniestra, TJ Steele, and Vic Capri. That should be a hell of a match. The Dope Kings and a surprise partner will take on Shane Boucher, Solomon Tupu, and the Huntsman, Jay Marston. So that should be a great match. Heather Reckless has adopted Cypher, apparently. I mean, we all like pets. I hear Cypher's a rescue. And they're taking on Adam Stallion and his new partner, the Star Kid, Casey Nova. Be a hell of a match. Hopefully those two kids will work out Cypher's knees and drop him like a bad habit. Then we have the Metro title, Steve Boz versus the beautiful Ryan Matthews, the Ryan Matthews. Can I get a little Ryan Matthews, please? Is this the face of the new Metro champ, or will Steve Boz retain his title? Tune in Friday night in Franklin Park. Tickets still available. Even Red smiled a little bit. He's trying not to smile, but he did just a little. You can't help it. This is so ridiculous. It's awful. This is amazing.
Ryan Matthews on a popsicle stick. Then, of course, we have a strap match between Dream Girl Ellie and the Evil Sierra. And in the main event, champion Joey Avalon takes on Blanco Loco in a 2 out of 3 falls tables match. That's a lot of tables. It's costing me a pretty penny to have this. There are going to be tables everywhere. Under the ring, on top of the ring, under the seats, in the bar, everywhere. So we got a splendid time planned this Friday night in Franklin Park. Don't miss it. And then when you wake up Saturday morning, have some breakfast, do some shopping, get your groceries, but then come down to Shabant's and see Shamrock Shenanigans in Shabant's. My apology tour continues, and you'll get to see VJ Price, The Price is Right, versus Adam Cage in a Shabant street fight. Plus, lots of other stars will be there. Hunter Payne will be there. The sharpshooter James Creed. Nubby, will you be there?
I will be there.
Nubby.
How are people gonna, perceive me? I don't know. I know the locker room, forgave me for everything, but the fans, who knows? I might be booed out of the building because I think they're still salty.
Fans are
Don't worry. If they're going to boo anybody, it'll be me. All right. All right. So don't miss the shenanigans in Shabbat Saturday. Don't miss the massacre in Franklin Park on Friday. And now I'm just going to sit back and take my medicine like a man, take the glasses off. Go ahead, Red.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. This is the Power Hour. That is Steve. That is Rion Skills. Nebby Jones. I am the urban sensation. Join us next week when our guest will be. Who is our guest next week?
You know, that's a fine question. I should probably have. I didn't know you were rapping. I thought you were going to shit talk me.
Tricked you. He
Tricked me. He worked me. I got worked.
He tricked you.
I got worked. Damn it. Next week on this program, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to it, we will have the counselor himself, the most popular attorney in all of professional wrestling. His Honor, Eric Schultz, will be joining us on this program. That's the man that hit me with the briefcase. So I'll enjoy that very, very much. Red, you were saying?
So, on behalf of all of us, everybody be safe. Take
Happy
care.
St. Patrick's Day.
That's right.
If you celebrate that, yes. If not, we'll see you next week. Same time, same station, here on the Power Hour. Good night, folks.
And ladies and gentlemen, go back to the beginning of the show and listen to what C Red said. Hug your loved ones tonight, because you never know.
You're right.
Red, Rion, Turtle, thank you. People watching, thank you. And we'll see you next Tuesday. If I can, this is like the end of
I'm
Peacemaker.
staying right